Great pleasure. Speaking of drill, baby, drill, we welcome back to the show my friend, and I will say still one of my favorite senators, Mr. Joe Manchin from the great state of West Virginia. Mr. Manchin is the chairman of the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee. Senator Manchin, it is a pleasure to have you back on the Kudlow Show. And
Larry, it is always a pleasure to be with you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We'll talk some politics, but first I want to talk some policy,
Sure.
some substantive matters. So this debt ceiling bill had a permitting provision, and also the bill had finally got your Mountain Valley Pipeline, which is long overdue.
Correct.
My first question, Senator Manchin, is that enough? Is the permitting provision enough? And in general, sir, do we have the kind of balanced energy policy, balance between renewables and between fossils and so forth, in your judgment?
Well, Larry, first of all, we need more permitting. We have some, and I appreciate everyone working. I appreciate Kevin McCarthy and his team, and they did a great job. I appreciate the President's team receiving and moving in that direction. We have to. We could have done a lot more, but we've got to start. So we did things with NEPA that helps us tremendously. We need more to be done. We need basically more guarantees within the courts, not going to tie us up forever and stop projects or make them so expensive it just basically dooms them. That has to be done, and we're on track to get that done. So we're all working together. John Barrasso is my ranking member on the Energy and Natural Resources. We're working together, trying to find that balance to even go further. So yes, we're going to get that done. Is there a balance in here? Larry, the bottom line of all of this that we're talking about, you have to have energy independence to be energy secured, to be the superpower of the world. And the United States has the resources. We've got to make sure that we get it out of the ground. We do it better and cleaner than anywhere in the world. So you have to have the horsepower of fossil done better than anywhere in the world. And you can also invest in the new clean technologies. Hydrogen is a good investment. SMRs are good investments. There's things that need to be done, but they're not going to overtake that. So right now, the administration has always been pushing further left than I could ever get, and never made any sense to me why you would do something and take something offline before you put something online that could do the same job. Larry, it was about 3 weeks ago, I had a group of the German soldiers came in, and I was wondering, I'm on armed services, they wanted to speak to me. So I said, how can I help you? They said, we're here to make you know, so that you're head of the Energy Committee, make you know, not do what we did. We took off coal, we took off nuclear before we had anything to replace it, and become dependent on Russian oil and gas, and got ourselves into this mess. Please don't do that. And I said, thank you, we're not going to.
Well, I hope you're right about not going to, but there's some stuff out there. The Army Corps of Engineers just took back a permit in Minnesota that would have allowed us to mine for nickel and various minerals that you're going to need for the electric batteries. So the Army Corps of Engineers had given the permit, then they just took it back. Also, Interior Secretary Deborah Haaland, who stopped the original Iron Range mining permit, which again would have helped us with important minerals for electric vehicles. She took that back. She also stopped some development for oil and gas on a Navajo reservation, or near a Navajo reservation in New Mexico. The indigenous Navajos wanted it. She said no go. All this is done in the name of climate change. You yourself have criticized the Biden bill, unlimited electric vehicle credits. And you don't like the ESG movement that's taken money away from fossil fuels. I mean, I was just saying, there's a laundry list of stuff.
Yeah.
And you, as a leading Democrat, need to keep speaking out on it. The question is, will you? And, you know, tell us here on the show about all these things. Why can't these things be overturned? They can't just keep pulling permits out. If you want electric battery cars on the one hand, you got to have the resource to do it. Otherwise, Senator, as you know, all we're doing is bailing out China.
Yep, Larry, I agree with you wholeheartedly. That's why the bill that we did, the IRA, says that you're not going to be able to basically do the wind and solar and all the projects you want to do unless we're basically drilling and having permits and extracting. It takes a balance. You've got to have horsepower or fossil to run the country. You can have investments on the other, but you have to have the horsepower. The ESGs you're talking about, environmental, social governance. It's crazy, Larry. If you want your money to be invested and strictly on renewables only, you can find an investor that'll do that. The main job of the United States government is to make sure that anybody who has control in investing your retirement funds is qualified and certified. That's what the government's responsibility. If I want mine to go into fossil, I should say, listen, I want to have reliability in the system. I want my money to be invested in my retirement plan into fossil. You can do that, Larry. Why should the government jump in and try to tell you everyone has to look at this and that's part of the condition of investing? That's crazy. Electric vehicles, I was not in favor of any rebates whatsoever, and they know that. I said, if you have a good product, then you're going to basically sell the product. You'll give incentives the way they do with reciprocal or, normal engines, normal cars, reciprocal engines, combustible engines. So I said, you'll make that happen. The market will adjust. But no, they want to go ahead and start. I said, the only reason I would even consider doing anything like that is if we can bring back all that manufacturing to the United States or to our reliable partners around the world that have free trade agreements. Don't count on China, don't count on Russia, North Korea, Iran, and now Brazil's giving us trouble in other places. So let's basically sure we're doing business with people we can count on. That's why you should have basically your critical minerals and the processing of those minerals done in North America and done basically with our neighbors and friends that we can rely on. That's $3,750 credit. And then the other $3,750 comes if it's manufactured here in America. Has to be manufactured in North America. So they've tried, now this administration, our administration, has tried to expand that and liberalize it, and I'm fighting the living daylights out of them to stop that from happening and stay within the guidelines of what we have, Larry.
Yeah, well, there are no limits on a lot of those credits, but Senator Manchin, honest to God, I mean, I've been in government several times. You've been there a long time. You got crazy people running EPA. I mean that. You got crazy people. No gasoline-powered cars. No air conditioners.
Can you believe that?
You got to change your. You got to change your microwave. No gas-burning furnaces. I just heard. You got to change your flushing toilet bowl. I mean, come on.
Larry, that's not going to happen.
All the things that I like.
Going to happen.
All the things that you. Who are these crazy people, and can you stop them?
I have no. Absolutely, we can stop them. They cannot do that. They'll be taken. We might have to go through the court system to stop them, but we'll stop them. Makes no sense whatsoever. You're not going to take my gas stove away. My wife would throw me out of the house, first of all. And next of all, I mean, majority of people like to cook on gas. And we depend on gas for heating our homes and all the things that we depend on. And it is a reliable, clean energy. And they want to get rid of everything. I'm not there, Larry. I'm not going to go there, and we're going to fight them. I'm fighting the EPA. Tailpipe emissions. They want to get rid of. I says, first of all, it's not good enough for you all to basically try to persuade and buy people and bribe them into buying an electric vehicle with $7,500 credit. Now you want to make sure they have no other choices. That's ridiculous. That's not going to happen.
Well,
and then on the other stuff, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I know. So I'll just say, Senator Joe Manchin, you sound good. It's a pleasure to have you back on the show.
Well, let's keep getting together.
All is forgiven. We're kissing and making up here. Nobody's perfect in life. Not me, not you, not anybody I know. But I do want to know if you're going to throw your hat into the ring and run for president. As a Democrat, first of all, as a moderate, old line, moderate, pro-growth, well-balanced Democrat, Joe Manchin, are you going to run for president?
There's not many of us left, is there, Larry? Not many of us left.
I started as a Democrat a long, long time ago.
I know. Most of it, So all my old friends did too and everything. Here's the thing, Larry. I said, only in America does the next election start the day after the last election. I got a lot of work to do. We got MVP done. I got to get this hydrogen hub done. I've got Corridor H we're trying to get completed in West Virginia. Been working on that for 40 years. These things are really important for my state. So I'm doing that. And also, I'm very much concerned the direction of our country. I will make a decision later on where I can help the country the best I possibly can in my state. I'm looking for that moderate middle. I tell people, I don't know where I belong. I don't know whether they say D, R, I, whatever. I can tell you this. I belong to one team, the American team. I'm fiscally responsible and socially compassionate, Larry, and I think most Americans feel the same way.
Well, you said Biden's gone way too far to the left. You're absolutely right. You're not there. I'm sure we'd love to have you in the Republican Party. as a senator, as a governor, I don't know, whatever. So you're going to leave. Let me just get this right, and then we're going to let you go. You're very kind with your times, Mr. Manchin, as always. You're going to leave.
Larry, I'm still Joe. I'm still, hey, buddy, we're friends. Larry and Joe.
Well,
okay, we've been friends for a long time.
You've always told me that. So Joe, you're going to leave the presidential doors open. You're going to leave it open for the moment.
I haven't closed anything, Larry, and I've kept everything open. I haven't
right.
closed a thing, and I'm just looking at everything possible that help my country move in a moderate centrist, make sure that we're making our decisions not from the extremes, Larry, extreme left or extreme right. This, the good decisions. What Kevin did and basically got us a debt ceiling, he started it, brought it over. The president knew he had to sit down and negotiate. We got something done, and we did it in a bipartisan way.
And Joe Manchin, you're going to buy me dinner in Washington, D.C.
You got it. I owe you.
Senator,
Okay,
you're
Larry.
terrific. Thank you, sir.